the moment that Wolf Siebers, one of the designers, really wanted to point that out, that the front logo and the rear logo is from the metal, because I was so into the car design itself. I was walking the laps and the laps and the laps. I didn't even notice that at first. And when he told me, I looked at the Audi logo, and then I said to him, like, oh, I like, thank you, man. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Uh, if you know.
I have 45 minutes for you.
Okay.
That's
Well,
good.
so you're joining me from Japan?
Yes, I am.
What are you doing in Japan, man?
Shooting Audis, man. That's what
Cool
I'm
stuff.
doing. Yeah, yeah. I love the culture here, I love their mentality. Um, some cool cars here, so definitely. Yeah, you'll see in the future.
Awesome. So the reason we're talking is you got, well, I guess publicly the Concept C is being shown to
Yeah.
at the Munich IAA today, but you had a chance to see it a couple,
Yeah, over a month ago.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
And probably background for, I don't know how people would have missed it, but you did this video that has been so impactful in kind of highlighting what was frustrating you or concerns you had about the Audi brand called
Yeah.
Stand Up for Audi. Um and
Pick
so
up for yeah, it is.
I'm sorry we
Yeah. No, it's correct, because the funny thing is, I myself, even after I called it Speak Up for Audi, I sometimes myself said Stand Up for Audi, because it was kind of like a stand up for Audi, but I wanted people to speak up. So it
yeah,
was more of a speak up, but at the same time, it is a stand up for Audi. So you're correct both ways.
okay. Well, I guess to that end, can you catch us up
Yeah.
on what happened since the video launched and to the point where you get to the car?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I know you call it a video, but since I've done like 1,000 videos, and this one was like over 1 hour, I personally call it the film, the
Okay,
movie. It's like, for me, it hits more when it's a film or movie. But
sure.
video is a video. I mean, of course, yeah, it is a video, but I don't know if don't you think yourself that the film is more oomph in it?
Definitely, yes.
You can call it whatever you can, but I just wanted to tell you what it means for me. That for me, it's something that I'm still really very proud of. And funny enough, I was just hitting the gym about an hour ago, and I had a 1 hour run, and it's midnight in Japan. So I said, what the hell am I gonna do? 1 hour staring at the wall. Let's watch the movie. So I was literally rewatching the movie yet again. I've been driving so many times in Europe this summer, and I had long drives over hours, and I watched the movie again because I still think it's such an important thing. Even though I was the one doing it, it's still kind of
Right.
like you know, an extension of others people's voice.
Yeah, no, totally. And as a creator, I get that too, especially when you do something that's like, if you feel is kind of the standout work of yours, and clearly
Yeah.
longer and more in depth, more effort, more heart in it. Not that there's not heart in your other stuff, right? But you can clearly feel the emotion in this one.
Uh, well,
I
back to your question, how did it happen? How did I get invited? Well, the thing is, I quite quickly got a lot of messages, emails, DMs, whatever you call it, from Audi employees themselves. And I saw that they were really, behind all of this, that they were supporting it, that they were thankful that somebody actually finally spoke up, and they were all feeling the same. I mean, of course, I don't know if they were all feeling the same, but the people that wrote to me, of course, were feeling the same. But
Sure.
there were a few more important people that wrote to me, and they said to me already, let's talk in end of August, beginning of September, because you're gonna see something that we're working on that you're probably gonna like.
Yeah.
And that talk already started in July. But funny enough, on location, I asked them how long, where was when was the first like line drawn on this concept of this car? When did you start working on it? And they said June last year.
Hmm.
So imagine that's not a lot of time. That's a year.
Right.
So they were busy. But I guess that the film kind of like, sped everything up, because I guess they were in the end of the project, and I guess the film made it even easier for them to be even more motivated. Got a lot of messages from people behind the project, and especially when I did this short film about the Concept C, which was also a little, the thing is, I'm starting to do more videos and films with my voice, over on because people seem to like it. So there's maybe
Yeah.
something more in the future. But there was it was a lot of personal messages that I got from the light designer, from the car designer, from the interior designer that they really liked my film, what I said about it, because I think most of the people I think were a bit critical to the project. What I've seen, I seem to be the only one that was kind of, let's say, how hopeful. Let's use that, hopeful.
You
When
mean
I've seen,
people are more
no,
critical of
I mean the other accounts, other what do you call them, influencers of YouTubers, or they were a bit critical, I think, especially to the front grille, to, I don't want to have any names, but there were a lot of people not liking the car, and I was like, that this is just a wrong thing not to like, because they've improved so much and we've complained so much, and let's give them kudos for what they did here, because I think
right.
it definitely deserved praise here.
Yeah, there. I find kind of two things on the design, or rather the reaction to the design, right? That
Mhm.
I think sort of muddy the water a bit. One is that it's an EV, and of course, there's natural pushback against EVs by a lot of
Yeah.
people, and that sort of permeates everything nowadays, right?
Yeah, I don't want to think that, but the thing is, I wasn't thinking about the drivetrain at all.
Right.
Because for me, it was the details, it was the mentality, it was the mindset, it
Oh,
was the, hey, we're
yeah.
fighting here. So I don't, at this car, I don't give a damn right now what it's gonna,
To,
how it drive, whatever, it's the
right.
details for
I totally agree 100%. I just mean in trying to gauge other reactions I'm seeing on the car.
me.
The two
Yes, yes.
things that seem to sway it
Yeah,
negatively are
yeah.
that it's an EV, which they just can't get their heads around, right? Like that is what it is. I can't change that. And
Yeah.
then
And the
uh,
second one is the Jaguar.
just Jaguar, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's since he comes from JLR, I guess that's to be expected. But honestly, other than simple coupe-like forms, I don't
Yeah.
see a lot of similarity. I don't see much of any. I can look at any car that shape and say, okay, well, that
Yeah.
looks like the Jaguar.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, once I entered that studio, because it was funny, they did a very quick kind of like I don't know how to call it, a recap or a little preview or whatever. I was just sitting there and met the designer of the interior, exterior, not Massimo, he wasn't there at that time, but his co-workers and the interior designer and the material designer, and they were all talking, a short little briefing. And then one of the people said, listen, we know that you know all of this stuff and you're not interested in it. And since you are very important for us, let's just skip the talk and I want you to see the car. I was like, come on, let's do it. So,
Excellent.
and when that was pretty cool because, probably I saw the people that came after me, the influencers and everything a few hours later, and their kind of like meeting or whatever or preview was way longer than mine. They just wanted me to see the car and get my reaction. And funny enough, they were shooting me, I mean, taking photos of me and shooting me as I was reacting as well. I didn't even notice that, but
Hmm.
I think I posted a few photos in the little film I got there in the concept C. But what I'm trying to say is my initial first reaction, like the first thought when
Right.
I entered the studio, it was Jaguar. And I mean, the thing is, I'm talking about the first 2 seconds.
Right.
It was what the fuck and Jaguar. That was my first 2 seconds of, reaction.
Yeah.
But then I started to walk around, and immediately I saw the front windshield. I saw the mirrors. I saw the R8 in it. I saw the TT in it. I walked to the side. I saw the Rosemeyer in it. I saw the Nuvolare in it. I saw the iRobot in it, RSQ. And I was continuing walking around, and just, complete silence behind me with all the people just standing behind me and just, looking at me, looking at my facial expressions and everything. And quickly after, walking a lap or two or three, I completely forgot about Jaguar because it is not a Jaguar. It's just that front initial first reaction that takes you to that type
Right.
00, whatever it's called. And I understand, but those are the people that don't have a bigger insight in this, it's the keyboard warriors. It's an EV and it looks like a Jaguar, it's easy to write it off.
Right.
But I think historically, how much of the design influence he put into this car, what Audi has been since 99. I mean, when did the Avus concept come out? Like 91, 92?
91
Um,
on Avis, I think 2000 on Rosemeyer. So
yeah, and there was this car in between called Spider. I think it was also
that was
90.
also 91, and TT was 95 for the concept car.
95. Yeah, yeah, 95,
Yeah.
correct. So immediately when I saw all of those things, I kind of not I didn't forget Jaguar. I mean I knew that it was gonna come up.
Right.
But once I started to look at the big picture and I started to see the quality of the concept and feel the quality of the logos of the steering wheel and all of that, like Jaguar was not a part of my head anymore.
Right.
And it's a pity because all those people that compare it to Jaguar, those were not there and they couldn't feel what I felt seeing that car live,
Yeah.
and feeling the quality of it and feeling the DNA of Audi of it because it's really there. You cannot unsee it that it's an Audi.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part for me is with the Jaguar analogy, right? Currently that car is both contemporary and eyebrow raising, right? Like it was such a just the whole way that Jaguar went about launching that.
Terrible, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's kind of everybody's context if you don't have a view of history, but like you said, walking around the car, there's so many nods to elements in Audi's history. I did wonder if maybe for me when I first saw it and started considering the first photos, there are too many nods to Audi history. But what I really love about the car is sort of its very modern take on Rosemeyer, right? And Rosemeyer to me
Yes.
was such a kind of I hesitate to use the word brutal, but it was very aggressively like where Avis was very elegant and kind of swoopy. Rosemeyer was the
Mhm.
sort of in your face, like TT Mark One
Yeah,
to the extreme, and
yeah,
and doing that in a way that is both elegant and modern is a really fascinating thing. And so the more I look at the car, I haven't seen it in person yet, as you have, so that's something I'm curious
yeah,
about. But
yeah,
the more I look at it, the more I like it. Right? I was a
yeah,
little jury's out in the beginning, kind of like you said about the grill. Like I'm not so sure, but now I actually like the grill. I prefer it.
yeah.
So
But the funny thing is, I wanted to add this also in my video without really being, how to say it, not copyrighted, but freaking strike by YouTube or something. But I wanted to say that it does look like a certain German famous person
yes.
from the front, and that is, I think, is a big problem. That's gonna haunt them.
Well, okay. So you said that I don't know if you remember how closely you were watching as we were running up to Milan, which is where they had the first public debut, I guess, for influencers and such.
Yeah, yeah,
And a couple photo, a front photo and a straight front photo and a straight profile photo leaked the day before, and
yeah.
I
That
saw
was
them.
that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
I mean,
It was just ridiculous by Audi Canada. Like what, like why, like what the
well,
hell?
I think Canada, somebody in the social media team of Canada screwed up, but then the additional photos, like the front shot, were not. I don't think were Canada, and but whenever you have an embargo, some inevitably some moron lets it go.
Well, keep your idea right there. I just wanted to tell you what we went through.
Okay,
This was probably it was not one, it was the worst when it comes to the embargo because Audi probably got, freaked out by all these leaks they've had before. So now, listen to this, George. We shot this car a month ago, and they said to us, you're going to receive all the content 24 hours before the release.
so
24 hours before the release. So we have to, for those people that talk, imagine all the other
sure,
accounts. They have to write a script, they have to talk, they have to edit, they have to cut, and all of that in 24 hours. At the same time, they have to eat, sleep, do whatever they do in their lives as well.
yeah,
So, for me, I even wrote to Massimo. I said to him, listen, man, you have to do something about it. Give us 3 days. Do something about it. But he was like, it's coming from above. We said this, please stick to it. I can't do anything about it. We'll be fine if you post a little bit later if you want. And I was like, I can't do that because the thing is I was hopping on a flight to Tokyo actually. So what I did, I prepared as much as I could because I still had the feelings from what I had when I saw the car. So I wrote everything down and I recorded my voice like 4 or 5 days before even I got the content.
yeah,
And once I got it, I hopped on the plane and I already had my voice and I cut everything in 8 hours and posted, and I was done one hour before the embargo ended.
Impressive.
So I hardly could breathe. So I could
Yeah.
not even imagine what the other people went through, you know. So it was, and they did it because if they say if it's gonna leak by somebody, at least it leaks just a few hours before, and that's exactly what happened
Right.
the day before or whatever that was. So that was whoever or however, I can't understand how they still managed to get a leak, but let's not talk about that. But since you touched on
Well,
it, I have to tell you that
yeah, yeah.
how
Well, only I guess without dwelling on the league, one of the first impressions were in this car design group on Facebook that I'm in, and I think that's where I first found the other photos beyond Canada's. And that reference to a certain pre-war
yeah,
German leader was there, but I thought, oh man, it would be a shame. I know how much work the designers have put into transforming this design language and doing something that's just really
yeah,
unique and inspiring, and you hate to see it distilled down to that, right?
yeah,
And so it was on one hand disappointing. On the other hand, I have seen further references to that, but not many. And the amount of like this car has gone everywhere in the media since. Like the amount of media impressions generated by this car, I think is a home run for Audi. And so
absolutely.
that probably speaks to the success. Also, how much perhaps appetite there is to see Audi come back from the challenges it's been facing.
Oh, there is. I think,
There's a lot of love in the car community for the brand, even if it's been kind of out in the woods.
opinions are very split though. I mean, when I posted the photos the first, because for me it was okay, I posted a YouTube video and then I posted photos at the same time, but I think it was 51-49 of people did not like it on that poll.
Yeah,
But the second one I did a few days later when, the design was a little bit more, uh, people got used to the design a little bit.
right,
The yes and no was 73-27, 73. Yeah, it was something 70-30.
right.
So, so I think the negativity kind of like, laid off a little bit, and people probably start to see the big picture a little bit more. But the haters gonna hate. You can't,
Yeah.
haters gonna hate always.
Well, and whenever you have a paradigm shift like this, there's going to be polarization. People will be at first reluctant to the change. And so now what I'm trying to do is, I mean, I find that number, that later number you have encouraging and, trying to distill out the frustrations over EV or the Jaguar references that may
Yeah,
remain. Um,
yeah.
no, I'm curious, but the other side of it was I don't think that first profile angle that Audi Canada, it appears, accidentally released was
Was a
not
good one.
it's not a great angle on the car because it really emphasizes the length of the overhangs that they
Yeah.
get from working with the 718.
Yeah. And did you see the first photo I posted, which was the first three photos of my carousel that I posted? It was the rare side shot because I thought that's gonna work the best. And I think the
Yeah,
front mug shot was like the third or something, but I
right.
didn't want to show everything. And also in the video, I didn't show the front for the first minute,
Hmm.
because I didn't want to, because I didn't want that negativity. I wanted to let people understand why is this important? Why am I talking again? Why do I want to say what I want to say? Because it has
Right.
to be said. And I felt that that's, yeah, as I said, that's probably going to be something I do more now in the future when the whole change. I mean, just comparing the Q3 Sportback, which is a horrible, horrible. Please do not remove this. I want the world to know it's a horrible looking car, and I'm ashamed of that car came out from my favorite brand. And compare that car to this. Of course, this is amazing concept
Yeah,
C compared to that,
right.
because that is terrible.
So I have a question for you because the Q3 for me as a model has always been like kind of like the Q4, right? Like I get that
That
the mark
second generation was beautiful. The
which one?
Sportsback one. The second generation of the
Yeah,
RSQ3 Sportsback.
right.
That's a pretty damn good looking car.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
in my opinion, of course.
proportionally at least, I feel like the Q3 has progressed from this not great thing. It also had a weird steering position, the first gen Q3. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. First one, yeah.
but then the second one was a market improvement. I don't hate this new one other than it's always been a small transportation appliance to me. So and we don't get the RSQ3 or the Sportback here.
Yeah.
So
Well, I just and the split headlights, the split taillights,
oh yeah.
the gear shifter on the steering wheel, and the plastics all over the place. It basically looks like you could put on a Chang'an or a BYD logo right there in the front,
Right.
and nobody would notice it. So it's going to be hard because I'm leaving for, I guess it's in 2 weeks we're going to Glasgow. in Scotland, and we're gonna shoot the Q3. And it's tough because shooting something that you really don't find beautiful or
Right.
encouraging is gonna be tough. But Audi asked me, and I said because they know I hate the car. They know it. And I said, they asked me, do you really want to go? Because we can give the spot to somebody else if you don't want to go. I said, you know what? I'm just going to try to be more professional and I'm just going to try to make it look beautiful from my perspective or from my
Right.
light, camera, whatever. And I'm not going to do a talking video about it because there
I
is
was
no
gonna say,
part I can
skip
say
the
about
monologue, right?
yeah, I can't do that. I can't fake it. So I would probably be very brutally honest on that one, and that would not be good for the brand. So I'm like,
Right.
let me just do my thing. Let me just put my camera on and so yeah. But comparing to that, the Concept C to that, I mean, it's just a refreshment and yeah, it was really, really nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm curious where this goes. Like I think you probably saw by now. There's a designer who did a a kind of mix of products where he tried to interpret that language on them. So like an A8, a Q7,
yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
and
I saw
in my opinion, it translates well. I don't think that A8 is close to
that SUV. I mean, if they're gonna do a grill like this on the Concept C, they're not gonna make it larger and wider on the other cars. This is what it's gonna be. If it's gonna be, this is what's gonna stay, man. The grill is gonna look like that on all the other cars. And
yeah yeah. Well, I don't
I just wanted to read you a message. I'm not gonna
yeah
name who it is, but
okay
I'm gonna read it. So it was like a day or so um, after it was released, and I think it was 4.5 hours after my video dropped. So. Um, Hi, I just watched your review of our Concept C. At 9 o'clock, it is the first thing that I wanted to see and hear. Your opinion, your feelings, your thoughts, your doubts, and your hopes. Your voice is the voice of the fans and therefore much more important than the one from so many others that fill the internet.
right
And I'm so glad that you liked it. I believe that you can feel in the car a sort of inner peace in ourselves, like if we were regaining the freedom to guide our dreams through the pencil strokes, just as an Audi deserves. And I think that is an awesome thing to hear from actually one of
I
the main
agree.
designers.
And what great praise for what you do and what you represent in the brand too, man. I think
Yeah,
that's worth
that
saying.
was amazing to read, from coming from him as well, who worked on the car and so it yeah, and actually I can see that I could feel it. I mean, as I said in the film, just the moment that Wolf Siebers, one of the designers, really wanted to point that out that the front logo and the rear logo is from the metal because I was so into the car design itself. I was walking the laps and the laps and the laps. I didn't even notice that at first. So I
Right.
did not. And when he told me, I look at the Audi logo, and then I said to him, like, oh, I like, thank you, man. Like, oh my God. And he literally put his arm in front of me, and I could see every single hair of his arm standing up, and that was like they care,
Yeah.
and it was a big moment for me as well because I was emotional. The most emotional part of me there was when the C7 screen popped up. I nearly
That
lost it, man.
that is
I,
rad.
I was emotional. I didn't want to put any tears there, but my voice got a little cracky and I was like, holy shit, like you have no idea how much that has been missed.
Yeah. Well, and also how I think that's one of my reservations about the new what I guess PPE and PPC cars is this
Yeah,
screen that is just the entire dashboard. And
it's terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, I mean, I suppose if you want to look at a screen, it's great, but I don't. And so like you, the way to just put it away and not have to look at it is
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's not going to work. And it's funny because I've been talking to so many people about this, Audi people and non-Audi people, because I drove, I don't know, George, how many miles or kilometers. I did 30,000 kilometers with all these new cars this summer,
right.
you know, like lengthy drives. And I hate it more than I hated it ever before
Hmm.
because there's nothing good about that system. It just disturbs, it removes your focus from the driving. And people say, but you have this intermediate and the AC, you can see it on three presets. I don't want presets. I don't want presets, man. Just give me my 21.5 degrees Celsius and I'll put it on there and
Right.
I will turn the knob or wherever. Don't give me presets. Don't give me voice recognition. As I said in the film, what's next? I should come home, sit on my sofa, and hey, machine, feed me. I mean,
No.
you know, it's like we have to use our brain.
Have you ever seen Wally, the movie
Of
Wally?
course, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. To
Yeah,
me, that I think what's that Pixar, and it's the most like cynical and jarring kids movie I've ever seen. And it's at the
yeah,
end when he goes up to the ship, and it's just people in those
yeah,
chairs. And I do wonder if like that's kind of what some of these product manufacturers are catering
yeah.
to, and I'm not interested in. Like,
You know what? I think it's already the glass overfilled already. I think people just don't want it.
yeah,
It's just I don't know. I mean, just look at all these cars that are coming out. The new CLA. I mean, it's like, what is that? Like,
right.
what is that? What is that? Like, what
Uh,
is that a car? Like, or the freaking new BMW that came out the other day, iX3. Okay, I respect the
the new
design of it.
class,
Yeah, but the freaking interior, how many screens are we gonna have? Like, when is this gonna
right,
stop? Like, when is this gonna stop? And I think, I hope, and I think that the cars that are coming out now still will have those screens, but I think we are in a change when people said, "Hey, listen," like Ferrari did. They brought back buttons.
right. I think
Because
buttons are a show of quality and luxury nowadays, and you have to wonder if like they couldn't create a dashboard that's, maybe if somebody wants those screens, it could be an option, right? Like
exactly, exactly. Give it like like which brand was? I think this Xiaomi, the 1,600 horsepower Chinese EV.
right,
I think they have a little external kind of little buttons that you actually can click on the screen under. And you can use the AC buttons and the windshield defroster or whatever that is. You have buttons if you want to.
right,
That can be that hard, and they are nice quality and all of that. So if you want to keep the screens, keep them. But please, for us normal people, give us buttons.
yeah, yeah,
And I really was very, I was criticizing quite a lot when I saw the car. Like, listen, the AC buttons is not going to work because those were to still touch this little whatever they wanted to show, this line of buttons. And I said, it's not going to work. And I told them, it's not going to work. And I literally said it, it's not going to work. Cut it
yeah.
out. Stop
The B
this.
to So what's your? I personally thought the B9 HVAC was probably the best.
Mm.
Right,
Yes,
right,
yes, yeah, yeah. Yes, before because the B9.5, they cut the MMI knob
yeah,
and the screen, you had to reach over in front to the screen in front of you. So correct. The B9 was the last.
yeah,
Yes. I spent the whole summer driving a B9 A4 TDI in Europe. And man, I love that car. Such an awesome car.
yeah. It really
Really,
is.
really awesome car.
They
But
dropped. They had to drop the mechanical. I guess initially that car was designed to have the screen that popped up too, but they dropped it for costs.
no, but the thing is, the funny, I remember I got an information from one of the high-end Audi people back in 2018, 19. They did survey of how many people actually use that,
Yeah,
to let it go back in or let it go out. And not many did that. It was like under 10%. But I think that was then. I
right,
think now people are so tired of these screens. It's actually, for me, I love it. Every time I start up my RS6 and the screen pops up, man, it's a really cool thing. I don't put it back myself, but I think it's a cool thing when it pops up.
right.
So, but the interior designer told me that, they are listening, they are aware of people that want more buttons, and they are working on it. That was his first and immediate response when I was criticizing their own location. So I was like, as long as you know about it
Yeah.
and you're doing something about it, that gives me inner peace.
Yeah, no, totally. What I'm curious about is there seem to be, not just at Audi, but definitely at Audi as well, there seem to be kind of two factions at these companies, right? The ones who want to create this transportation appliance,
Yep.
and just want to move to that immediately, and ones
Yep.
who want to create something that's a little bit more oriented towards, the act of driving
Yeah.
and design.
Yep.
And that's they seem to be struggling, right? So I'm so happy to see which way that appears to be going at Audi.
I mean, there's still a fight.
Yeah,
There's still a fight, and
I'm
they will
hearing
be
the
going
same.
to fight. Yeah, I was told just a few days ago that don't forget that a lot of people that made these insane decisions are
Right,
still at the company. They're
right,
still working there, and they still have to take the fights, so with these people. So it's not like just because they showed the concept, see, everything is gonna be fine now. I mean, I'm still not looking forward to the day when the Q7, the Q9 drops because that is going to be a humongous hate storm because those cars are going to look exactly like the Q3, just bigger versions of it, and
Right.
they're going to have these huge split headlights and taillights. So probably I expect the Speak Up for Audi film to gain even more success after those two drops because people will hate those cars.
Yeah.
Uh, so but let's hope that these change. And as I told the people at Audi also, it's very hard for me to go to this new Q3 event and still look at these terrible, terrible projects and things that were decided 5, 6 years ago and they are coming out now,
Yeah.
know that the mindset has already changed, that they want to fight back, that they want to show what they are able to do. So it's hard to view those products coming out now, like the Q3, like the Q7 and Q9 that are coming now. It's hard for us knowing
Right.
that it's not anymore when we are at. We moved past that, and still we have to have new cars coming from that era because
Yeah.
yourself, a cycle of a car is 6, 7 years. They need to, once they start to project the car and then it comes out, these cars were made in 2018, 19, 20, whatever. What was this? Dushman and Wortmann, with
Right.
whatever their name was.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a tough 2, 3 years still.
No, and I think that's the challenge, right? I think we want and probably even need the brand to succeed, right? Like it, and kind of
Absolutely.
like if you're a Porsche and you're a hardcore 911 fan and you hate the four doors or the front engine cars, the reality is that the company exists and thrives if those cars are successful too. So
Yeah. I'm just happy that they did a sports car because that
yeah,
was what they were really lacking, which I also pointed out in the Speak Up for Audi film and everything. But so that was really, that was really what they need. I didn't want to see any more SUVs, man, and I would like to see an A8 successor in that design. I think that would be really cool,
yeah.
like a D6.
So
Although I
all
think they
right.
are working on one
So,
right now.
well, interestingly, I so today at the I just did a story on it and threw it up on the blog probably not long before you and I started this call,
Yeah.
where Dolner said he mentions two to Autocar magazine. He mentions two models by 2028 that are both SSP, so both electrics, and
Uh,
I'm guessing A3 and A8 based on timing. New Golf hits in 2028 as well, and A8 is overdue. Um,
Do you
so
think they're gonna get an A8? You think that they're still wanting to do a sedan? Because I haven't heard anything about it. What I've heard is that the Q9 is gonna replace the A8 because the sedans in their minds are not selling, but they are selling. In China, they are all selling. So I don't know. I
China,
mean,
China and
there's a
Europe, right? Germany.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of A8 customers that are very pissed off that they're not gonna see a new generation. So I hope that you're right.
So I would say two things. I don't know if we will get it in the U.S. just because they sell so few here.
Yeah,
But I have heard that an A8 successor is still coming.
that would be awesome. And I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm all
yeah,
for
and I hear it's very unique compared to what's out there, so that's all good. But like, what I'm curious about, if 2028 is when it comes, and you think about the timing of all of this, and
it. A lot of things can change until 2028, man.
well,
Or
yes, but
is it going to be overdue when it comes?
totally overdue when it comes. But I guess where I'm going is two things I noticed in preparing this story, where it's probably A3 and A8. One is
Yeah,
uh, I went to the German media server to grab photos of the Grand Sphere, and,
yeah,
and they pulled most of the photos of the Grand Sphere off. They're no longer available on the media server. So I had
hmm,
them on a hard drive, and I just pulled them up and ran one anyway. That
yeah.
car, when they showed that, was particularly they were. I was in a digital, like an online presentation of that to American media,
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
and they were very happy about the C pillar and the shape of the car, not necessarily the nose and the tail, although those are very flat like clusters as well. So like, I wonder if
They're
this
going to
late in
keep
the
it.
ball game for A3, they're not going to shift that design to a new Massimo inspired design. But I
Mhm.
wonder if A8 being the flagship, if it's if what I'm hearing is
Yeah.
accurate, if they wouldn't
Mhm.
shift that car to be reflective of what we're seeing with Concept C.
That would be cool because I think that this design would fit that car so well.
Totally.
It would fit it very well. So Yeah, that was very refreshing to see that car, man, and especially all those small details, and just looking at it from the side. I literally saw, as I said also in that little video of mine, that I could feel the R8 and the TT looking down on the car and smiling, from heaven, and they were
Yeah,
proud of it because it was really like the side profile, I think is the one that I like the most.
yeah,
A little bit rear side profile and also straight from the rear also as you said before, it's like a Rosemeyer and Nuvolari for me. Nuvolari for me was a concept that I really loved. I think it was what 2003. But also
yeah.
what you know, if you take the Quattro concept from 2010, if you see the air intakes on the side, it's from that car.
Right.
There's no other car that has those air intakes, vertical, straight air intakes on the side of the car under the lights. There's only one concept that has that, and that is the Quattro concept from 2010. So it's
Yeah,
kind of nice to see Massimo looking at that car as well, because that car with the five-cylinder and the six-speed manual and 600 horsepower and that design, that is for me the greatest Audi that was never made.
I agree
Uh,
wholeheartedly.
so it's nice that Massimo looks at those cars. And as you said back when we talked last time, that he followed you, he wasn't following me then. I think he was aware of me, but he
Yeah,
wasn't following me. But I took a risk and a chance, and I wrote to him on email, and he responded that he has seen the movie and he's impressed by it and impressed by
I
the
love that.
by everything. So he responded, and soonly after that, he followed me on Instagram. So and we've been talking a little bit back and forth, and he's responding, and I don't want to also be, just because he's responding, I don't want to write him 2 times a week.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
I want to
No,
keep it like instant. So, but it's cool to see what he's posting, and you could feel the love, and you can feel, I mean, even like the music that he's choosing for his post and how proud he is of the car. He's reposting
right.
my photos of the car and my photos of the car. So he's really proud of it. You can feel his pride, and he has definitely all the reasons to be.
It's interesting with him because even today, if you look at a lot of the German companies, the brand leads and not the individuals, right? And we noticed that, like
Yeah,
after, like I've noticed that more recently since because you have more of a an anonymous persona online, but if you look at others in the space, they tend to lead with the individual, and you're still kind of similar
yeah,
individual, but we haven't seen that from Audi executives. Like you might see it at with Andy Perniger at Porsche, who kind of carries his own weight when he's out there. But
yeah,
but seeing Massimo out there on social media in a way that really I don't think any of his predecessors were, including Lichty.
yeah, yeah. And you know what I told him, and also what I strongly believe myself. I think. Here's what I'm going to say. I think he's the most important person in the automotive design right now
Yeah,
because he can still save the automotive industry of these horrible designs that are coming out from left and right from all the brands. We need to stop this madness and go back to simplicity, beauty, and that's exactly what he and Bauhaus design or whatever you call it. And he
right.
showed with Concept C. And some people say, "Oh, it looks like from 2005." I was like, "Awesome!
Yeah.
2005 was a great
Although
time for cars."
I agree, but I think that sells it short. It's more updated. Like it looks like a modern
Yeah,
interpretation of it. I don't it doesn't look if it looked like a carbon copy of Rosemeyer or TT Mark One, I don't know
yeah,
that that would be a good thing. Um,
yeah. And also look at the steering wheel. I mean, yes, first of all, it's round. Thank
right.
God for that. And all the buttons that are on it and everything. But when you look at it, yeah, you could probably see it resembles a car from the 90s or the 2000s. But it's great because it looks good. Sometimes we have
100%.
to stop evolving and say to ourselves, isn't this enough?
Yeah.
Like, like what they did with the steering wheel with a flat top and flat bottom. I mean, for what? For what? And just seeing that round steering wheel, and they really pointed out, you see the steering wheel is round. I was like, yes, I see that, or you could really see their pride of things,
Right.
and no, it was those people that I met there, and also they stayed after, and we talked a lot, and a lot of them approached me and thanked me personally for the film that I did and how much it influenced them and how much it gave them the the power to speak up, really, like,
Right.
hey, we are here. We have the knowledge. We love the brand. We want the brand to succeed. Listen to us, you know? So I
No,
think,
did I know I've said this before, and so I don't want to, I don't want to blow what is it, blow smoke up your ass, right? But like I do the courage that went through to put that up there because you had everything to lose in doing that and voicing that it's so was so needed at this time where the struggle we were talking about earlier, right? That is between the people who want to create something that's for drivers and cars and the other people who
mm,
want to make an appliance that still exists and it's my hope reading it from the outside. I don't know Dolner. I haven't met him, but that they're struggling to change the company kind of back on that track where clearly there are a lot of entrenched people who liked what they were doing and making an appliance. It's
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't envy Mr. Dunner at all because
yeah,
he has to top a lot of fights. Because there are all these amazing people that are there, yes, but there are these others, as we said before, that still made these decisions, and not everybody was sacked. There's a lot
right.
of people still working for Audi that think that the plastic shit, excuse my language, that was put in the grill or the logos on the removal of the front badges and the steering wheel and the screens and all of that, they think they did great. I mean, I don't want to say any names, but there were a few designers I remember when after they presented the A6 e-tron, I think they were so proud of that they managed to get the digital Audi logo and on the brake light in the back. They were so proud of it. And I was thinking, why? Why are you proud of it?
Yeah,
It's just a gimmick that nobody really wants. Fix your interior quality instead. And all of that. And there's a lot of things I didn't speak about on Speak Up for Audi, which you can actually read in the comments. Just a few comments that were posted since in the last 24 hours. You can read those, how a lot of people are pointing out the mechanical downfall of Audis.
mm,
There's somebody who bought a new A5 in the last year and it's been standing 6, 7 months in the workshop because it's not
ugh,
working, and all of this stuff. And it's coming up
yeah,
more and more and more. So there's a lot of more stuff to really point out. But at the same time,
yeah. It's
I've
also a long
complained.
road back, right?
Yeah, and I think also we've complained enough.
Right.
I think it's time to motivate these people because I think they're very tired as well of being complained on.
Yeah.
And that's why I really felt like I really needed to give them kudos for what they did with the Concept C because I felt it and I saw it.
Right. All right, so let me contextualize this then. I've been having something else I wanted to ask you about, but since we're talking about
Yeah,
not complaining and being positive, um,
yeah, yeah.
you had uh, you had some reservations about where Concept C goes between now and production, and I
Yeah,
share them in that I want them. It's a beautiful car. I don't want it to be like if the TT Mark One was challenged by something, it's that it
yeah,
starts with this amazing iconic design, and then through the next two generations, the design gets watered down a bit, but they really up the driving dynamic of the car so that it's a
they
really
did.
substantive car by Mark Three. And I guess that's where, of course, this will be based on a Porsche, but at the same time, I want it to be like the Q3 controllers that you mentioned. It still has. I want it to be substantive in addition to how good it looks. And,
Yeah, it
and I'm
deserves a gear shift knob and in the middle console. Absolutely, it deserves that. Whatever it is,
not,
also, it doesn't deserve this freaking. But yeah, I mean, but imagine also that what I was speaking on in the movie, about the so-called manual EV. Wouldn't that be awesome for that car? Imagine if just the clutch would pop up from below and you could just, a little gear shift knob would pop up from the middle, and here you go, manual if you want to. Oh man, that would change the whole automotive industry. That would be the only
yeah.
EV I would buy. But
You
also
know, I
here's also my sorry for interrupting. Here's also
no no
my
that's
um I'm not scared of it, but they cannot overprice this car. They have to be really, really careful with setting a price on this car because if it's gonna be too expensive, it's gonna be a flop.
right.
It's
Yeah,
very thing because I think Audis are too expensive now for what they are.
uh, I would tend to agree. Looking at where 718's priced, of course they're
Mm,
coming to an end of production, right? It's probably a six-figure car. And what
yeah,
I
yeah,
want, would they? Okay, so next question for you. This is just you and me and our opinions here. Should
yeah.
it remain that Targa style mechanical dropping roof, or should they just make it a coupe, drop the weight, and drop the cost?
Ooh, that's a difficult one, man, because I know how awesome the freaking, you know, when I saw the roof and everything, I just looked back at the SL55 AMG back in the 2000, how much I loved that car.
Yeah,
You know, same kind of roof mechanics and everything. And it looked so good, and it still looks so good. So, yeah,
it's heavy and expensive though. That's
how about, would it be even more expensive to two versions?
yeah. Well, that's the question, right? And for such a niche, I think they got one shot in their gun right now, so they make one. But the hardcore car enthusiasts are going to want a coupe. Um,
Yeah,
I don't.
it's tough because as you said, if they're gonna keep the roof like that, it has to be expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
well,
they
as
have.
long as we're spending money that's not ours, I say make the car that exists as they showed it, and then make a hardtop coupe with an internal combustion engine.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. I hope that, I mean, as my hope still is that they're gonna do some good engines. I mean, I'm still you're seeing that the RS6 and RS5 Avant are being tested heavily right now, and
Right.
interesting that's going to bring. But absolutely, I agree with you. Make one EV like that and make an internal combustion one. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, keep that roof. I think keep it. It's a bit well. What I've heard as I was on location is that they said that they're going to do everything to keep it exactly as it is, and they're going to hurry up so they can release it in 2 years. That's what I've heard. So basically, they're
It's
going to try to do an
2028.
RSE kind of thing,
Yeah.
which they basically did not change anything from the concept.
So I guess then the question would be, I have a friend who claims to be he's not currently in the auto industry, but he knows his way around and he's been there before. He knows Porsche quite well, and he'd heard rumors of, and you see this elsewhere in the news, where there's rumors of car cars being retrofitted with internal combustion engines, right? Like Porsche redeveloping certain cars to get an
Yeah, yeah,
internal
yeah,
combustion engine. When you look at the Porsche lineup, everything is PPE, and that's a skateboard, and I don't see where you put an engine in that,
yeah.
unless it's a range extender, which is not what we're talking about for a sports car.
Um,
So the only car that makes sense there might be this one, right? The 718 EV, because of the way they do the battery stack in the back, and
yeah,
it's not PPE, it's kind of standalone. I wonder if this is the car that they couldn't do that to, in which case would
yeah.
it being a dual Porsche and Audi project, could both brands invest in, you know,
And, interestingly, I'd ask you, do you think it's worthy of the Quattro name?
not if it's not all-wheel drive.
Hmm.
Oh, I mean,
Would
Quattro is all-wheel drive, so I would not call it anything Quattro if it's now. Could you call it?
you can't call it the R8, you can't call it the TT because it's none of them.
You could call it R like R5, R6.
You're gonna create a new name that doesn't have history, or are you gonna try to?
Well, R designates race cars, right? Like the R nomenclature is used across like all the DTM cars have an R number designation, all the Le Mans cars. So R8 comes from that, and so to do an R, I don't even know offhand what an R5 or an R6 would have been in sequence, maybe a DTM car, but
Hmm.
you could do a production car R5 or R6 that just fits within the family, or RS001 you could go back to, but this doesn't really look like that. So that's a mid-engine car, and it doesn't say, it was never actually a car. I mean, it was a test mule only.
Hmm.
But
Interesting.
I'd be, what's that?
Interesting what they're gonna call it.
Yeah, no, I'm genuinely curious. Calling it TT,
It
they could do it, but
doesn't look like one.
no.
It has a few aspects of the design, absolutely, from the R8 as well. That's what I told them. I can see the R8 in it, I can see the TT in it, but you can't call it that because it's none
Plus,
of them.
yeah, and also TT, just given the nature of where TT comes from, it's a the first car was the NSU Prince 4, which is this small little economical thing and just a hot version of that. And then the TT originally is still a golf based thing, and so still kind of an economy based sports car, right? And price wise, it got kind of expensive towards the end, but it was still considerably cheaper than an R8 or a Boxster.
Still, still a freaking awesome car because the green baseball edition TT
Yeah.
that is in the film and the concept C film. I spent the whole summer in that car,
Did
and
you?
my God. my love for the first generation TT rose
Same.
so much, and the attention to the details of that car, and it was so it's such a good condition, the stitchings and the metal parts and everything. Oh my God. It's like
Yeah.
I think TTs are going to shoot up in price, the first generation, because holy shit. I mean, I loved driving that car at the whole time. My friend lent it to me, he bought it a few months ago and said, "Hey, I got a first generation TT. Would you like to drive it?" Because I know I was like, hell yes. And it was a lovely summer in Europe and I was driving it a lot and I was like, oh my God, I want one so bad right now. I need to buy myself one. But I need to get
I
only
agree.
that basic edition kind of I need that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I kind of want. I'd love to find a VR6. All of the ones sold to the US were DSGs, so I would convert the
Oh,
transmission and put
yeah.
a good suspension on it and just call it a day. That would be an
But
excellent.
you know, but you know that 225 horsepower quattro does well. It's not a heavy car. It
Yeah,
does well. I can tell you, I mean, come on, I'm an RS6 and RS4 everything driver
I,
on a daily basis, and I felt nice in that car. I felt it
yeah.
moves.
I don't dislike, and there's less weight in the nose of that one. Certainly, it's a little bit laggy with the 225 because you've got the
Yeah,
the dual intercoolers,
yeah.
but yeah, it's no still a great car. I wouldn't say no to it, right? I just if I were gonna
It was
find one to just
nice.
cruise around in, the VR6
It
kind of
was
speaks to me.
Yeah, it was so awesome because I was driving through the city with the top down and everything, and I saw a school class, and they were like, "Floor it, floor it," and I'm like looking around. Who are they talking to?
Yeah.
Me? In the TT in the hairdresser's car? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that these cars are coming back to life again because even children are tired of these soulless craps that we're getting over
Yeah,
and
yeah.
over again. Yeah, so. George, I have a what do you call limit.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have to do this again.
I think I've covered all the bases I was hoping to cover. I think we're good, man. I really appreciate you. It's so late for you. Giving you 11 hours.
It's funny. I was watching the US Open final yesterday, and it ended 7 o'clock a.m. here. I don't know if you're a tennis fan, but I was really, really watching the final
Yeah.
yesterday, and it ended like 7 a.m. Tokyo time. So I'm good. I slept very late today, so I'm still on kind of Doha time.
Okay.
I'm good, and it's always nice to see. Hold on, you added a little bit of pictures since we talked last time.
Um,
The R8 wasn't there.
was the R8 the LMS?
The
This
R8
one?
was not there. Yes, this one. That was not there.
Yeah,
Or am
yeah.
I right?
No, it was there. Probably my big head was in front of it.
Really? Because okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
And that
know.
one on bottom right, what is that? No, that where your head is exactly that one.
Michelle
That
or the TT
oh,
Club Sport?
that's a TT. Yeah, that's a club sport. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that's funny because I was that's so funny. After the shooting of the Concept C, a guy comes out. And then one of the Audi says, "Hey, this is the guy that was the responsible for TT Club Sport. He has a few words to say to you." And he literally comes and takes me on my shoulders and says to me, "Thank you," in the German English, like "Thank you for the film. It's very important for us. Thank you." That was
That's
cool.
excellent.
Guy that
Excellent.
made Club Sport TT. That was really awesome.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah, so that was so as I said, those people are still there. They're
Yeah.
still there,
Well,
still working.
and I heard a rumor, another somebody I know who worked for another German car manufacturer up until very recently. I'm not going to say who it
Yeah.
is, but not Volkswagen Group, so that knows it down. And and he said the challenges right now, they fired a lot of the people, like particularly the internal combustion engineers. So they let them go, and he goes, now that they're realizing they have to pivot to go back to this, they're like, please come
Yeah.
back. Please come back. We need you back.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's the trick is that I don't want to see these guys leave. I see guys like Stefan Ryle and he retires and goes away.
Mhm.
He's still around, right? They'll still call him back for certain things, but yeah, it's I don't want this information to be lost because this is such a great era of
They're still,
engineering.
exactly, and they're still not that old, so then they need to
Right.
quit and go and
No,
so no,
the trick is like when you have because I've seen it happen here too. In fact, I probably have received it a bit because I think I'm progressive when it comes to EVs, but at the same time I tend to get associated with the
yeah,
traditional because I understand it
yeah,
and care about it. But yeah, that you see these people who kind of come after. It's very it's demoralizing. And maybe you felt it too when they come after you about something, or they don't want to include you because you represent a time that they don't see as their future, and
Yeah,
you get stuck in a box, and it doesn't seem to be inclusive of these people who've cared about the brand for so long. I mean, you can speak that applies to enthusiasts, that applies to so many people
yeah,
who have just been around. I'd love to see a strategy moving forward. Like, I get things have to go electric, but I'd love to see a strategy moving forward that's inclusive of folks and not just
yeah,
like shutting the door
yeah.
on.
Exactly. You can't do that. There's too
Right.
many people. Like, there's still a majority that prefer, internal combustion over EVs. Still, what? You're just gonna ignore everybody?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that they did with the new cars, the new interiors. Like, hey, let's just put the screens. They will adapt. No, they will not. We will
Yeah.
not adapt to these horrible screens, and yeah, it's. I remember also back in 2018, 19 already when the soft limiter came in, the regulations get stronger directly. I remember there was one Audi person that said to me that, listen, do you know what it feels to me to meet engineers that have engineered engine sounds for the past 10, 15, 20 years for Audi, and they were working on that specific perfect sound from the engine, and now they're told that it's not important. They come
Yeah.
to me crying with a tear. 60, 70-year-old men are crying in my hands. And I remember that. That was 18, 19 already.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look what happened since then. It's even gotten worse. So let's bring soul in the automotive industry because it is lacking so much. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's we still a lot of people that are, before the AI takes over and everything, we are still a lot of good people out there who can still make some really nice cars.
Right. No, I totally agree, and I think that it needs to be clear that those people haven't been shown the door, and I think that's what frustrates me so much about cars like the Q3. I don't think it's a terrible product personally. I'm sure there are plenty of people who will buy it. It's not for me.
Yes, exactly. Who don't care about the cars? They will drive
Right.
it. They will, oh, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, which car? Let's go for that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
They will, oh, look at that Q3. It's so pretty. It just looks like any other car out there right now. And I said to also, like, Massimo has a real chance of being the most important automotive designer of the century. If he
Yeah.
goes against all the current blob designs, go against it. Do you like don't think, hey, we have to, because no, we don't have to. Just do whatever you want to do. Go ahead,
Yeah.
go against everything. and
Following the
and be
crowd has never been Audi's way, at least for most of its history.
Yeah. So yeah, man, let's do this again.
Yes,
It
let's
was,
do.
lovely, and thanks for always checking up on me and everything. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
always lovely to share our passion for a
Yeah. Yeah.
brand that we.
Love it, man. Enjoy Japan and safe travels when
I
you're
will. I will.
back.
There's a lot of nice GTRs and old Mazdas around. It's very nice to see the Japanese car culture. I saw a B7
Fantastic.
RS4 today. It was also nice. There's a lot of them here in Japan, and a
Are
lot
there?
of first generation TTs also.
Are
So
there?
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, love that.
Uh, so yeah. All right, man.
All right,
Thank you so
man.
much.
Take care.
And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, man. See you around.
Talk soon. Bye.
Talk soon.
The Four Rings If You Know You Know podcast is part of the Weekly Driver podcast series. For more news and features about Audi, visit the Four Rings If You Know website at oooiykyk.com. That's 4OOSIYKYK.com. There you can also subscribe to the Four Rings If You Know Substack newsletter that will keep the latest Audi news and features coming straight to your inbox. Four Rings If You Know is an independent production and not affiliated with the Audi brand. If you know, you know.